Blood for the blood, guys. Calls for the throne of corn. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it is time for Chaos Training, and today was a leg day. I hit a 500 low bar squat last week, right? Something I said I'd do. One of the goals, early goals for the year. Goal is 550 eventually. And I'm like, I felt nothing but quad on that. And I've noticed when I'm doing those heavy squats, my quads are my weak link. So I'm like, let's do some high bar squatting. Why? Because it hits the quads harder. It will force me to build my quads more, use my quads more. And I'm like, I wanted to do a little back off work. I had said in the coffee chat, I'm like, I feel like I really kind of want to do a higher rep heavy set with a few reps and push them to the limit instead of a top set. But I started training. I'm like, well, let's just do both, right? I'm like, so I built up, I assessed the 415 for a single here. I'm like, this felt really light. I knew I could do reps with it. I haven't high barred in a while. So I went up to 465. For those curious on the plate math, this is a 55-pound Texas squat bar. This is a meat legal bar. It's 55 pounds, so that's where the extra 10 pounds is coming from. Like, that was nice and easy. I'm like, let's step over. I did 465, and I thought about going up again. I'm like, man, I did the 465, and I know it wasn't a max, and I'm like, let's save something for the rep work. Let's maybe build this over a couple weeks, just like we built the box squat up, and then we came in and knocked down a 500 low bar. Let's build this up, right? Let's work on it. Let's build it up. Let's see if we can hit a 500 high bar. I actually did it, one of my meets, I did a 485 high bar at a meet, by the way. So when people don't realize that, that was not power squatting. That was straight up high bar squatting with a narrow stance like this. It was actually possibly narrower. So I'm like, let me just drop down, get a good high bar squat. Wasn't a max. It was close. It was above 90%. It was definitely above 90%. I thought about doing another 10 pounds upper leg. Now let's just strip down to the 415 and let's see if we can get 3 or more reps. So I did. I hopped down to the 415. I'm like, let's just take it to 1 rep in reserve to where I feel like if I do another rep, I might get some technical breakdown, right? So that's what I'm looking for. And it went pretty good. And I feel like I got a hair more depth on the last rep. So again, I like high bar squats. I program them a lot here and there. I like low bar too. I just like squats. I'm able to do both. And I've squatted high bar up in the 500s before. So I'm like, yeah, let's just get a good quality set here. I've hit 405 for 6 before a number of months back, but I'm also lighter and leaner now. But it was also like a top set. It wasn't after doing a heavy single. So I'm kind of happy with this. And again, this was no knee sleeves. So I think when people said, well, you've hit more before with knee sleeves, guys, on the rep work, knee sleeves are cheating, like those SBD sleeves. So we also come over to, I get a lot out of those on the high bar, a lot more. So if I built my hamstrings up, I could just throw them on and high bar if I wanted to at a meet, possibly. And I didn't use them at my last meet, by the way. So I did that state record bare knee. So then I'm like, all right, let's increase the weight. We got 12 last time on the last set of these when I went up in the weight. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to take the weight up a little more. This was hard for sets of 8. So I went up to 265 on the belt squat. Now my goal here is to get these into the same high bar position, right? So I'm wanting to get that deep stretch. This is my lengthened position hypertrophy exercise. I want to build those quads up here. All right, quads, glutes, everything else. So again, great exercise for that, but I was only able to get 8. The 8th rep was really hard. Like, I felt like not another rep. I was already pulling up a little bit. On rep 8, I had to pull up on the handles just a little bit. So I was pretty much out of steam. We're reaching failure at that point. Also, though, I think this angle gives me an idea of where I'm at in terms of that hamstring hitting the calf. So I know if I build my hamstrings and calves up more too, my high bar squat also goes up because the ability to bounce it. Right? But again, let's just build some muscle. So I feel like that top set really kind of primed me well for that back off work. Again, there's studies on that with attenuation. So again, got a really good set. Like, I could have probably stopped squatting right there and probably gained a little muscle off old muscle memory. But I'm like, let's get in, let's hammer these quads. So let's progressively overload these machines now. Okay? Basic idea, progressive overload. So now I went up in weight. Yes, I lost reps, but they were hard sets with a heavier tension, and I did the same thing on the leg extensions. Now, I don't know that I need to go heavier than this for a bit. If I do, I need to maintain 8s, but I could take it up heavier and see where we go with it. But I want to get this solid range of motion, right? I was really happy with these sets. My quads were feeling really lit. Everything felt stretched, felt like a good pump. So super happy with all of it, right? Super happy. So not counting the top single, we got 4 really good quality sets with 0 to 1 rep in reserve on 2 different big compounds, and then we went to our isolation work. So I added weight here. I went up in the weight a little bit. I've been doing 200 as the reps were getting too high. So I got like 12 to 13 on these and taking them a little slow and control so I'm not swinging. And I took these took them to failure. So I got like some like 12, 13. So again, still keeping the reps somewhat high, but I wanted a little more tension on this now. And yes, I feel these. People would say, well, you're not getting the stretch because of that machine. I don't care. I get the stretch on the other stuff. This is my contraction position. This is my isolation movement. Okay. Also notice again, the waistline slowly tightening up there. It's looking better and better. If I lose more fat, it's going to keep getting tighter. So I'm happy with that. All right. The calf raises were a little catawampus. I'm not used to using this bar again. And I've been doing 500, but man, I kind of was getting a little squirrely with it. But they hurt like hell. I only did 2 sets of these today because they were really weighing on me. I had to reset that bar. It wasn't set right. Because notice I'm just doing kind of that little false grip. I'm not doing the full grip I do on the squat because I'm just trying to calf raise. So I got like 8 to 9. I got like 9 on the first one because I reset. I got 8 on the second one. Again, I light my calves up, and my calves are massive. I do a little calf pose here later at the end. This is all that I need to grow calves, and I know some people get upset. I'm like, squats grow my calves. My cardio, different conditioning grows my calves. Legs are on point. I'm definitely looking thick here at 217. All right, looking thick at 217. Again, back looks good there. Again, waistline's not perfect, but I think we can see here from these angles, it is slowly still improving month after month. Definitely from a year ago, massive difference. So again, if we just keep chipping away at the body fat, that's going to continue to tighten up. And I'm not going to worry about getting a small waistline. I'm just going to keep training my abs, build my abs and whatever, just lose the fat for it to get tightened up, and we'll just fill in with a nice, thick, solid abs. I'm not chasing that tiny wasp-waisted look. I want to be thick and strong and still aesthetic as I continue to work on that stuff. So why delts are getting a high priority right now too. And you can see there at those angles, even though delt day was yesterday, my shoulders tend to be smaller the next day. Still doing good. All right, these calf raises, I got like 8. And yeah, it just felt like enough. I'm like, I'm done with the calves. I just don't want this weight on my back anymore, right? I was starting to feel the fatigue. This is my last training day. I'm only going to do 5 days now. I had built up to 6. I don't need the separate arm day. I'm training my arms super hard on Wednesday with quality work and progressive overload. That should be enough, right? We should be plenty. 13 good sets for biceps with progressive overload, good ranges of motion. We're good. But again, legs on point. So this is my last training day, and I'm starting to feel that fatigue. And I felt those calf raises and the squatting when I went to do my cardio. I did about 30 minutes today in my weight vest, right? 30 minutes total in the 50-pound weight vest before I ate breakfast. And then we finish up with one last set. I took this as hard as I could. I managed, I think I got like 13. Took it as hard as I could all the way to the end, trying to minimize that swing. We're on roller bearings, so it's hard. And then I finished up with a set of hanging leg raises. I've been doing about 8 to 9. I think I got like 10 today, so we got 10 or 11. So we got a little bit more on the final day of those. I'll probably do some crunches this weekend a little bit, some high rep crunches in bed. So instead of hanging leg raises to finish up the training week other than cardio, pretty happy with today's workout. Everything went great. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.